Isaiah 64 says, "We are all like an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are like filthy rags." Filthy. So what, you go to church and you filthy? We are filthy. Whenever my mind's thinking good, there's a side that is evil. That's why there are those who seem righteous, we find they're deceitful. I gotta be 100, don't wanna lie to the people. Father, we're feeble, and we really need.
When I fall to my lowest, I cry like a beagle, but God can lift me to fly high like the eagle. I preach him to all my amigos, but still there's the fight with my flesh and my mind like I'm Smeagol's. Father, I believe you. Some men act like they are qualified to be you. Second coming, they'll be horrified to see you. Tribe of Judah, lion, glorify the Hebrew.
Some don't wanna hear that on the record. Entertain me, don't wanna hear another lecture. My conscience don't wanna deal with the pressure. I'm just only giving what I feel will really bless ya. No, I don't mind sharing my testimony. Nah, but when I do, I hope you learn some lessons, homie.
But the gospel is better. The books of the prophets, apostles wrote letters. My God is acknowledged in all my endeavors. I found a great pearl and sold all of my treasures. To purchase the field that I found it in. Built a fence, plant my flag in the ground, and then practice the ways of the Christ who I'm following. Want the wise reputation of Solomon.
Whenever my mind's thinking good, there's a side that is evil. That's why there are those who seem righteous, we find they're deceitful. I gotta be 100, don't wanna lie to the people. Father, we're feeble, and we really need.
There's no detergent to clean up the stains, I'm so filthy. I did a little good, but I'm guilty. In ancient times, the Levites would have killed me. The grace that came through the Christ now forgives me. I pledge my allegiance is to the Ben Yosef Yeshua. On his cross they wrote down the king of the Jews. The new covenant is made with Israel and Judah. Jeremiah 31 and Hebrews chapter 4. You should explore. It tells you there plainly, man, who it is for. Which some who read Bible do choose to ignore. That will not work anymore. We're more educated than ever before. Romans 11 was sent to the brethren, so we come together and strengthen the core.
Too many false prophets are slick and deceptive. They're trying to make profit, and so they just get more aggressive. We need the Holy Spirit and we'll study to get real perspective. So when the wolves come around dressed like the sheep, we will be more perceptive.
I don't just stand on my own too, so what you grown? It's the Father who holds you. Once he sees the kind of clay that he's working with, you can't control how the potter will mold you. The saints have been chosen to spread the good news, so we told you. Man, this is our job, don't know if you'll repent, but we told you.
Whenever my mind's thinking good, there's a side that is evil. That's why there are those who seem righteous, we find they're deceitful. I gotta be 100, don't wanna lie to the people. Father, we're feeble, and we really need you. Whenever my mind's thinking good, there's a side that is evil. That's why there are those who seem righteous, we find they're deceitful. I gotta be 100, don't wanna lie to the people. Father, we're feeble, and we really need you.
Yo, salute, good evening. God bless y'all. What's cracking? Welcome to the Bible Dojo. Yes, we are back on a beautiful Sunday evening. I hope you and your household as well. I pray that your loved ones are in good health and in good order. And I pray that, you know, that you're keeping your mind focused on the things of Yah. So much conspiracy theory out here, so much end of the world talk. Something that interests me a lot when I hear end of the world talk. So a lot of people talking about, oh, Babylon about to fall, but they don't look like they got any plans, like they ready to leave Babylon. Many of us might be like the high percentage of Hebrews who stayed in Babylon and in the 120 provinces of Persia. 40-something thousand Hebrews wanted to go back to the land and help rebuild, and the majority of them stayed. They like, nah, we good. No, we gonna help though. You know what I mean? sending y'all that money. So it's just interesting as you hear stuff. And I'm like, damn, so things are about to end. Yeah, you just started that real estate business, didn't you? Yeah, didn't you just, yeah, you all invested in the stock market, ain't you? Yeah, you just, your daughter in college right now, getting her second degree. Yeah, you just put a down payment on a new house, didn't you? But maybe, if things hit the fan, they'll be willing to drop it at a dime and go flee to the wilderness and live in tents. You never know. But hey, salute anyway to all of you. Most High bless y'all. I appreciate you all, those tuning in through YouTube, Facebook, Clubhouse. Y'all bless you all. If you don't know me, stick around, get to know me. It's your brothers at Akban Israel, aka the God Hop MC, hashtag just the best of nobody special, aka Young Chim Chim, because I'm made for the smoke. They call me hookah for heretics. And this is the Bible Dojo. So come on in, take your shoes off, look down, check your sock game, make sure you're on point, and start your warm-up katas, because it's definitely going to get a little biblical tonight. So, hey, as we get ready to get into this, I'm asking you brothers and sisters to share this out. Those of you on YouTube, hey, become subscribers if you're not one. If you're on Facebook, send that friend request so we can welcome you to the family. If you're on the Clubhouse app, hit that share, man. It don't cost you nothing but to hit that share. If you're not a member of the Bible Dojo Room on Clubhouse, hit that greenhouse at the top, become a member, give me a follow. And last but not least, if you're so encouraged and edified by what you hear this evening, then consider supporting my ministry financially. Those of you who are watching through live video stream, you see the ticker on the screen, you know the options there. If you want to reach out to me for building purposes, my email information is there as well. And on the Clubhouse app, if you're interested in any of that, touch my PTR, and the pertinent info is in my bio. So, brethren and brethrenesses, we are in the season for most in the Messianic Israelite community, as well as a small limited amount in so-called Christian Orthodoxy and the majority of Orthodox Judaism. Everyone is coming into this season of quote unquote the Passover, i.e. the Pesach. And if you notice, if any of you have been wondering, like some of you may not be a part of actual camps, and so you reaching out to brothers like myself saying, hey, how do y'all determine the date? And I just say, hey, whatever camp you built in with, that's that's where you want to, be in fellowship, because at the end of the day, if you're not in the land of Judea with the system that Yahweh set up under the old covenant setup, then brethren, you're just memorializing the feast days at this point. You are not keeping them according to the ordinance of the law. You're not eating the Passover at night, roast with fire. You do know, I know now we call like the time Passover, but it's not necessarily the time is Passover. The lamb you eat is called Passover. The lamb itself is the Pesach. That's why the Most High said in Exodus 12, the stranger or the foreigner who lives among you, he shall not eat the Passover. You actually eat the Passover. You don't just keep a day and say, this is the Passover. No, you actually eat it. So that's just for the few of you who might actually be into calling yourself, quote unquote, keeping the law. Oh, I keep the Yom Kippur. Well, you might memorialize it, but there is no priest taking the two lambs, doing the whole ritual with the lambs, one left alive, one put on the altar, high priest come, take the blood, go inside the tabernacle, go behind the curtain. He looks at the mercy seat in the Ark of the Covenant and sprinkles the blood of the dead lamb on that, come back out, lay his hand on the head of the one goat you keep alive, and announce all the sins of the people on the head of this goat. And then they have a strong Hebrew take this goat and carry him off far somewhere from among the people to not come back with their sins in effigy. If you're not doing that, that is not the Yom Kippur, then you're not doing the Yom Kippur, because that's the Day of Atonement and everything with it. The Most High didn't just say that you eat, I'm sorry, that you don't eat food for 24 hours. He did say that you afflict your souls and, no bread and water. But we know that when you read the Torah, it's much more expansive than that for the nation. So just things like that. And that's not to demean anyone. It's to say, don't become so overbearing about it that you think you're doing Yah a disservice if somehow you on the wrong date versus, man, why that camp over there not keeping it till next week? We over here doing it this week. And then it's another crew I know they doing it 3 days after us. Just don't get overly caught up in it, brethren. You just have a lot of people trying their best. And then some just stay in line with rabbinical Judaism's calendar and don't worry about it. And so, you know, it's however you want to do it. But salute to those of you who, quote unquote, are going to be keeping the feast during this time of the year. That's what's up. Most High bless y'all. And I hope that you all have a great time doing it. Now, tonight, I want to make this presentation and my reader isn't here yet. And maybe he wasn't correct on the start time. That's possible, but most high willing, he'll come popping up in here like Eddie Kane Jr., sliding in at the last minute in the beginning of the 5 heartbeats. You know what I'm saying? So with that being the case, brethren, I want to take you down this path. Tonight, I want to take a look at the oath, the agreement between Yahweh and Israel, and how what Yahweh was doing versus what the nation of Israel was doing, totally different. And even today, unfortunately, I find that many that would claim to be the Israelites, like we're his people, we're his witnesses, the way that we look to be carrying ourselves doesn't seem to reflect what Yahweh meant when he first came to men making an agreement or an oath with a particular group of men. There was a purpose for it. And the purpose wasn't merely for the sake of the men. It was for Yahweh and his relationship with said men. And in doing this, he is showing something to those people and all of humanity. So, brethren, what I want to do is we're going to start this off today in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 5. So just let me get this set up right quick. Hey, share this out if you're listening, and that will help get the numbers up. Hey, those of you on the YouTube or over there on Clubhouse, if you haven't shared it yet, that would be a shame. Why ain't you shared it yet? And for those of you who are on the other platforms, share it out as well. So, what did I say I wanted? Oh, Deuteronomy 5. So, let's start here in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5. Oh, let me share the screen. Okay. All right. Okay, brethren. So, Deuteronomy chapter 5, starting at verse. Hold on. Verse 1. And Moses called all Israel and said unto them, Hear, O Israel, the statutes and judgments which I speak in your ears this day, that you may learn them and keep them and do them. The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us who are all of us here alive this day. Brethren, the children of Israel came out of Egypt under another covenant. This covenant that they're being given, well, they were given it when they came out of Egypt. This is 39 and some change years later, and they are about to go in the land with Joshua, and Moses is given a reboot to that generation that Yah, by his divine providence and mercy, allowed to survive that destruction that he put on their fathers in the wilderness. Oh, hold on for a sec. I see my bro done popped up. Yo.
Yo, my bad, man.
Salute, bro. Huh? What'd you say, bro?
Yeah, I barely got. I didn't think he was going on till 6.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. No. It's yeah. It'll be for that 5:30 time for you. But at any rate, you made it here, bro. I appreciate it. I just read 2 verses, so you on time. You got that Ja Rule spirit, brother. You ain't always there when I call, but you always on time. So, hey, Gary, that's what's up, man. Bless you, bro. I appreciate you helping out today, man. So, hey, bro,
Sir.
we're in Deuteronomy 5, Gary. And so brethren, so far from what we've read, we see here that Moses is saying the Most High didn't make this particular covenant with our fathers. Y'all know who that is? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So when people try to put everything that you find in what they call the law of Moses, talking about they know what Abraham did and Isaac did, brethren, they can't prove that. And the agreement to do all of that was never made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, who gonna call Moses a liar? See, it's these little kind of nuggets. Oh, Abraham kept the Sabbath, bro. You can't prove that. I'm not saying he didn't, but I'm saying you can't go in this Bible and prove it. At the most, you'll find some later rabbinical writings of the 1st century that might make the claim per se. But other than that, you ain't going in this book finding Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob kept the weekly Sabbath. You can't show that they kept the agricultural laws the way Israel was given it because they weren't agriculturalists. Now, maybe if they would have been a set up place, maybe who knows, they would have had some practices similar to what you find in the law. Another thing we know that wasn't a prohibition on them was now what we would call incest. You have more than a few examples between Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and even their sons, even Jacob's sons in them, where you got relationships where uncles are marrying nieces, nephews are marrying aunts, and having children. As a matter of fact, Moses, Aaron, and Miriam are the byproduct of a marriage between their father Amram and his father's sister Jochebed. But once Israel is given a new set of laws to govern an entire nation, Yah give them something that wasn't a prohibition on Abraham and them. Abraham marrying Sarah, which was his brother. Y'all know Abraham had a brother named, I believe it was his brother Haran. His brother Haran died, and Abraham and his brother Nahor took Haran's 2 daughters as their wives. Sarah was Abraham's niece. So you all see how when Moses says in Deuteronomy 5:3, the Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us. So when Israel came out, they didn't come out under this covenant. They were given this covenant, according as Galatians 2 say, because of their sin. But they came out under another covenant that did exist, and it was Abraham's covenant. But we're going to actually keep going because the purpose of this is showing how Yahweh gave oaths and how within his oaths, sometimes there's promises that have to go forth, even if the people don't fully do the oath. But let's look at this here. So let's skip down for the sake of time. Are you ready, Gary?
Yep.
If you
can you hear me good?
Muted. Yeah, I can hear you now, bro. Yep.
All right.
So let's do this, bro. So when the people heard the Lord, they got scared and ran, and Moses recounts them to this. He recounts this to them. So this is what they say to him. Start at verse 27.
Go thou near and hear all that the Lord our God shall say, and speak thou unto us all that the Lord our God shall speak unto thee, and we will hear it and do it. And the Lord heard the voice of your words when ye spake unto me. And the Lord said unto me, I have heard the voice of the words of his people, which they have spoken unto thee. They have well said all that they have spoken. Oh, that there were such an heart in them, that they would fear me. Oh, you went up too high.
My bad.
Up and keep all my. Oh, that Oh, that there were such an heart in them that they would fear me and keep all my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. Go
Okay.
say to
So,
them,
no, that's good. He says, Moses, so the people said, you come to me, and anything I tell you, they're willing to do it. He's like, man, the people have actually said the right thing. Everything they've said, I agree with. But only if they had the heart in them that they would fear me and keep all my commandments always, that it might be well with them and with their children forever. So when you have this nation in its infancy, as it's about to go into the inheritance that they called the promise at that time under the old agreement. But under what old agreement? Not simply the agreement that Moses is telling you got established with them at Mount Horeb, but Abraham's agreement. The only reason Yah was sent Moses back into Egypt is he said, I am coming to keep the oath, which I swear unto my servants, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Wait, hold on. So there was another covenant? Yes. And I'm telling you all, sometimes in the New Testament, they get conflated. Sometimes Abraham's covenant is being spoken of. Then sometimes this particular covenant is being spoken of. And then sometimes the law of God is being spoken of, but they all at times are being referenced as law. So we just, it's good to always have your lexicons and look at stuff and be in fellowship because you can learn stuff from people who are studying. Now, the Most High said, man, Moshe, if only they had the mind basically to be able to keep their word. But let's look at something. Brother, same book, go way over to chapter 26. Deuteronomy 26. And when we get there, you know what? I'm going to have to get an Ethernet port for this laptop because these new Mac Pros, well, it ain't totally brand new. This was the new version last summer. And these joints don't have the Ethernet port like the old school joints. I got to buy an attachment because sometimes this joint be slowing down when I'm using Wi-Fi, and I would rather just have that kind of unbroken signal with the Ethernet. Most High willing, I'm going to work on that because I want to do better. All right, bro. So check this out. So this is what Moshe is going to say to the people, starting at verse 16. Deuteronomy 26, 16. Oh, dang. Gary, he done dropped off. Okay. All right. Well, I know he'll pop back in, so I'll start the reading here. And it says, this day the Lord thy God have commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments. Thou shalt therefore keep them and do them with all thine heart and with all thy soul. Thou hast avouched the Lord this day to be thy God and to walk in his ways and to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and to hearken unto his voice. And the Lord hath avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people, as he hath promised thee, and that thou shouldest keep all his commandments. See, remaining this peculiar people that he chose to make you is contingent upon you keeping all his commandments. This is the covenant, people. The nation promised God and entered into agreement with him out of their own mouth, and he entered into agreement with them. And then in the next chapter, to sign off on it, they're going to put a curse on the contract that if they don't do it all, then be cursed. And man, it probably would have been better for them not to do that because we see what the outcome was, unfortunately. But at any rate, it says at verse 19, and to make thee high above all nations, which he hath made. Stop there. So many so-called Israelites gloat in the idea of Israel was chosen to be high above all nations. Yes, listen to this. In praise and in name and in honor, and that you may be a holy people unto the Lord thy God, as he have spoken. Brethren, that's if you will keep all his commandments and judgments and listen to his voice, and he promises to be your God and cause you to be his peculiar people. And that's what makes you, if that's who you are as a people, high above the nations. Not you inherently being better, but if you keep your agreement with Yah, and it hasn't been done yet. Every Negro who preached the curse to you, anybody on the street corner talking about, yo, hey, shalom, shalom. Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on. Hold on, Colt. Come here. Hey, come here, bro. Let me holler at you right quick, Queen. Do you know who you are? What do you mean? Do you know what people you come from? You are a part of the people brought over here in the TAST, and they run this gamut and say, you are Israel. And the person say, well, how do you know? How I'm supposed to believe that? Y'all know what they're going to start doing? Yo, get me Deuteronomy 28. You, get me Leviticus chapter 26. And they're going to run down the signs of the damn disobedient penalty. The curses, that's what we call them. Brethren, y'all know what that means? You're not the peculiar people right now. You're not high above all nations in praise and in name and in honor. And you're not looked at as a holy people. Now, that's why they call what's happening among some of them the awakening. It's not the awakening for me, people. The awakening is to the fact that I'm a sinner and that I need to be saved. And that's where Christ comes in. I claim the Hebrew Israelite identity, excuse me, ever since 1996. It was the summer of 96 when me and my brothers reading Isaiah chapter 44 saw what was in it and already believing from what we were reading that the curses seemed to be very explanatory with some of the conditions we lived in. We were self-proclaimed Israelites back in 96. That was before we ever heard of some ISUPKs, any of that. IUIC didn't exist. Nathan hadn't left yet and started the house of David. That's what they was when Nathan first left the house of David. Then later on, when that thing broke into splinter groups, he formed his Israel United in Christ. Salute to them. But 8-9 years before any of that was happening, the split happened in 2000, 03, 04, 05, 06. Y'all start hearing these cats. In 08, all of a sudden, y'all hear ISUPK again under commanding General Yohana. I was 10, 12 years before any of that. In upstate New York, we didn't rock with downstate. We ain't know nothing about what they was doing. Never heard of them. Just like they'll tell you they never heard of us. Some of them heard of us when they came to our city. I remember Nathan when his name was Nathan Ya'alaga, and he used to come up here in 99 and 2000 every year. Him and some of his homies would come to our Juneteenth, because Buffalo, New York has the biggest Juneteenth festival in the United States outside of Texas. A lot of people don't know that, but that's been there for like the last 40 years. And so they heard about the big Juneteenth festival upstate. So them guys that make that 8-hour trip from downstate come to the other side of the state and be standing out there getting it in. They didn't wear purple and all that then. Them brothers out there with their fringes on. As a matter of fact, Nathan had cornrows back then. You know, Bishop Nathaniel, he had cornrows back then. You know, so at any rate, I come from that era. So the awakening for me has nothing to do with being an Israelite, because I really can't prove that 100%. But the awakening for me has been in what the plan of Yah has been for Israel and for what that is for the rest of the sons of Adam. This book is about Adam falling and him redeeming Adam. And Israel is supposed to be the big integral part of that after the flood, because of what God was going to do now that he split up men and made them into nations from the Tower of Babel. The Most High had a plan he's working, and the children of Israel are the conduit through which he is working that plan. And it's not only about Yeshua, but without Yeshua, none of it can happen and be culminated. But before he brought his son forth, manifested in the flesh, for a millennium, he worked a plan from Abraham all the way up until the time of John the Baptist. And this is something that so-called Israelites have to get right if they're ever going to almost be real representatives of the plan of Yah and what an Israelite or groups of Israelites should look like, how they should be walking, how they should be talking, and how they should be dealing when they interact with people of other ethnic backgrounds. But at any rate, the people that day entered into a covenant with the Most High at Horeb. And now, check this out, because this could fly over many brethren heads. Hey, bro, we're going to back up in this same chapter. And I want to show you all something. Same chapter. Oh, come on. Oh. Hold on. Why didn't it come up? Oh, okay. Go over to chapter 29. It's not the same chapter. My bad, bro. Right over to chapter 29. So as this is being done, this is all the same day. I'm under the impression as we're reading 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. All of this is happening in the same day. This is the day. This is either the day Moses dies or the day before he dies. Deuteronomy 29, right after the announcement of the blessings and the cursings, is said. Look at this. Deuteronomy 29 and 1, bro.
These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab. Beside the covenant.
Wait, hold on. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I thought you was done. Go ahead. You can finish that.
Beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb.
Wait, hold on. There was a covenant made when they came out of Egypt in Horeb. 40 years later, there's another covenant made. Read that again, brother. People need to pay attention to this. Go ahead. Read that again.
These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb.
Now, they're still similar, heavily similar. But the Most High is saying this because the last generation broke the covenant that they entered into. So even though their children still have that on them, there is something else that has to happen. Now look at this, because their parents weren't there to see this. So look at this. He says, continue to read. Yeah, just continue to read. We'll let it play out a bit.
And Moses called unto all Israel and said unto them, Ye have seen all that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his land. The great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs, and those great miracles. Yet the Lord had not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear, unto this day. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxen old upon you, and thy shoe is not waxed old. Ye have not eaten bread, neither have ye drunk wine or strong drink, that ye might know that I am the Lord your God. And when ye came unto...
So he's going to tell them, no, that's good, bro. He's going to tell them about the battles that they had and how I gave you all of that land. And he made all of them oaths of, like, see, when people look at Deuteronomy, the second generation was told this. The first generation wasn't told all the words of the curse in Deuteronomy 28. The first generation had nothing to do with the oath that they took between Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim. They had nothing to do with it. So this was another agreement, but it's just added to the first agreement they fathers made 40 years ago at Mount Horeb. A lot of people forget there was a covenant made right before they went into the land, in the land of Moab. Don't forget that. Now, brethren, For the sake of time, let's skip down. Verse 9. If you're reading, Gary, you're muted.
Yeah, I was.
Happens all the time.
Where are we at? 8? No,
Verse 9.
Keep therefore the words of this covenant and do them, that ye may prosper in all that ye do. Ye stand this day, all of you, before the Lord your God, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers, with all the men of Israel.
So we know he's talking to the Israelites, all the tribes. Go ahead.
Your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood unto the drawer of thy water.
Hold on. Keep the words of this covenant and do them. All of you standing here today, you men of Israel, your families, and the stranger who is here, who cuts the wood and draws the water. What? Verse 12.
That thou shouldest enter into covenant with the Lord thy God, and unto his oath, which the Lord thy God maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a God, as he had said unto thee, and as he had sworn unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Neither with you only do I make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before the Lord our God, and also with him that is not here with us this day.
Woo! Hold on. So from the beginning, the Most High has Moses telling them, I'm not making this covenant with you only, sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that I swear to your fathers, but this covenant and oath is also with the folks who were there with them that day, who were not Israelites according to the flesh. So guess what? That first generation died of the mixed multitude and the Israelites. Y'all know that there's children of the mixed multitude that's going to be a second generation, just like the second generation of the Israelites. And they are there. And what's interesting is we don't get y'all do know that when the book of Numbers end, all of a sudden there's an unheard of 38 years that's not written down. And you pop up at Deuteronomy, and in the book of Deuteronomy, if I'm not mistaken, hold on, let me just check it right quick. If you go back to Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 3, it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spoke to the children of Israel. All of a sudden, brethren, you skip 38 years, and now in Deuteronomy 1, you're at the 30th, the 40th year, and it's only 30 days left. How many of y'all understood that Deuteronomy 1, that basically the book of Deuteronomy, we're supposed to understand all of this was a recap in 1 month at the border of Canaan, before they go over to Jordan. Remember, verse 5, on this side Jordan, in the land of Moab, began Moses to declare this law. The 38 years in between is very silent, but apparently some kind of system was established over that 38 years, because you don't hear in the law, as far as in the wilderness, who drew water for them, who cut wood for them. But now you got a class of people who are servants unto the Israelites. Fine. Those servants are coming into covenant and oath with Yah. Brethren, why is it like that? And how are so many brethren missing this? because they're missing, not that the scripture is silent, but in these little nuggets, they're missing that God is doing with the nation of Israel what he did with their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What is that, Zadok? I'm going to show you, y'all willing. Hey, bro, let's back up to chapter 4, Deuteronomy 4. This is famous, very famous. Deuteronomy 4. And when we get there, we're going to start at verse 5. Hey, and hold on for a second, bro. Hey, welcome to those of you who are just joining. You are in the Bible Dojo. It's your brothers at Ogben Israel, Hookah for Heretics. And I got my bro Gary with me. We getting it in. Tonight we dealing with the oath, Yahweh versus Israel. Salute to all my fam over on the Clubhouse app. Thank you guys so much. Salute to over here on YouTube and Facebook. Salute to my man Ellis. What's good, Shino? Sister Deborah, hello, hello. Kevin Howard in the building. Willie Kenchon Jr., salute. My man Melvin, peace, bro. Hashem is in the building, salute, bro. Shalom. Lawrence is with us. All right, all right. I appreciate that, y'all. So go ahead and share this out. Oh, I also see we got Queen Wanda has joined. Shalom, ma'am. How are you? Mama G, blessings to you. Ty Hayden. Okay, I see a few more of you saying hello. Bless y'all. Let me see who's over on the Clubhouse. How many people we got over here? Okay, we got a couple people. What's up? Salute to Tia, Roger, Mikael, The Real, Ace. Hey, bless y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for being here. All right, so let's go ahead, brethren. We're going to continue in this vein. All right, bro. Deuteronomy 4, starting at 5.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. And this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great? Who hath God so nigh unto them? As the Lord our God is in all things that we can call upon for him, or call upon him for. And what nation is there so great that hath statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which is set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself, and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart in days of thy life. Teach thy sons and thy sons' sons.
Okay. All right. So now, brethren, if you go and you read through all of this, he lets you know he gave the fathers the 10 commandments, no other words. He gave them, it says he gave you the covenant and commanded you to perform even the 10 commandments that he wrote on 2 tables of stone. So this nation was supposed to keep these laws. And when they keep them, brethren, it's going, brethren, I got to tell y'all this. The context here isn't nations will hear y'all say, don't steal, honor parents, don't do murder, don't bear false witness, don't commit adultery with another man's wife. Every ancient Near Eastern a nation around them had those things for the most part. It was going to be Israel keeping these things, and what the Most High was going to do for Israel, that was going to cause nations to admire their system of government. And nations would say, surely this is a wise and understanding people. Why? He said, keep therefore and do them. See, some people think that just the commandments themselves are your wisdom in the sight of the nations. No, Negroes, you keeping them and doing them is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. And that was for the, and now this is chapter 4. We done already read further along. So by the time we get there, you see all of these things that the Most High is saying to the literal flesh and blood descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There's another people group among them who are held to that same standard. And if they hold to that standard, Yahweh saying, I'm entering into covenant and oath with them as well. But brethren, this is the Most High's oath and what he's meaning to do versus Israel's side of the oath. Because remember what we read in Deuteronomy 26, Moses say, you have promised God today to be his people. And today he has promised to be your God and make you his peculiar people. But unfortunately, through their actions, Israel showed you what they meant by taking the oath versus Yahweh giving the oath and him making agreement with them and how he played out his part of the bargain. It's not the same, but Yahweh continues to keep his oath and his promises. And brethren, even when the Most High had to end the covenant that he made with Moses with the children of Israel, as he got ready to make a new covenant with them, do you know he was still keeping them alive by his covenant with Abraham? I'm telling y'all, it is something to behold when you really just sit back and think about the mercy. I don't think we give Yah enough credit for his long suffering, and it's truly his name, his mercy, and the way he forgive iniquity. But he said, but by no means am I clearing the guilty. He killed the whole generation. I'm by no means am I clearing the guilty, but I'm still merciful. I'm still going to keep my promise to my servants, even though their children are wicked. Let's go look at something down here. Brother, now we've seen that if Israel would have kept those things, it would have rose them on high. As we read in Deuteronomy 26, he said, the Lord will make you high above all nations in praise, in name, and in honor if you keep his commandments. So let's see what they did. Hey, bro, let's go to 2 Kings 17. Second Kings chapter 17. And when we get here, bro, let's start at verse 7.
All right, verse 7.
Yep.
For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods, and walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel, and of the kings of Israel, which they had made. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their God. And they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And they set them up images in groves, in every high hill, and under every green tree. And there they burnt incense in all the high places, and did as the heathen whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger. For they served idols, wherefore the Lord has said unto them, ye shall not do this thing. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah.
Hold on. So this is the northern and the southern kingdom. He ain't nobody getting away. Continue. He done testified to him. He warned them by the prophets. Go ahead.
By all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, turn ye from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants, the prophets. Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but hardened their necks, like to the neck of their fathers, that did not believe in the Lord their God.
Hold on. They're Israelites, but they don't believe in the Most High. But this is the thing. The Israelites wouldn't tell you they don't believe in the Most High. They continued to claim they were his people. But yet, from generation to generation, they showed themselves to not keep the oath that their fathers made with the Most High in the wilderness. But what's interesting is they were never a part of making Abraham's oath. We're going to look at Abraham's oath because when the children of Israel, brethren, go to the book of Ezekiel, the Most High said, I'm dealing with y'all like a woman who break wedlock and like a woman who commits adultery. We know that under the law, that meant death, meaning, hey, if a man's wife commit adultery and get put to death, that man ain't in no marriage covenant with that woman no more. If that woman was found to be a murderer and was burned at the stick, her husband, if she had one, he's not under any marriage covenant anymore. He's free from that covenant. Or if a man give a woman a bill of divorce and send her out of his house, she's no longer his wife. She, even according to Torah, Deuteronomy 24, had the right to marry another. The Most High even went as far as when he was kicking him out, when he was about to kick him out under Nebuchadnezzar. Now, under Nebuchadnezzar, he kicking Judah out. He said, hey, don't they say that if a man put away his wife and she go and marry another, and that man wind up taking that woman back, that he's done evil and that defiled the land? But I'm saying, come back to me, my wife. Brethren, I'm using that language to show you the people broke the covenant. The old covenant had been over for a long time, but it took years for it to play out. Just like David wound up waiting a couple decades to get the throne, even though he had got anointed when he was still young. He was on the run for a few decades before he became king. Because if I'm not mistaken, Saul was king for what, 40 years? I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Saul was king for 40 years. But when the Most High said, I have rejected Saul from being king, and I've chosen another after my own heart, yeah, he did. But then, dang, Most High, you took a few decades for the process. The Most High, when he put the 10 tribes out, and then under Nebuchadnezzar, put out Judah, the covenant was done. In the book of Lamentations, Jeremiah told you in Lamentations 4, he said the gates are broken, the cities of the gate and the bars of the city are sunk into the ground. Our kings and princes have been scattered among the Gentiles, and the covenant is no more. But for some people, they want to say, no, the covenant still is. No, it's not. Everyone has been saved, yet you weren't saved solely under the old covenant of Moses. Yeshua saved us under the covenant of Abraham, people. Not from under the old covenant, but because the old covenant was broken. So when the Most High sent Yeshua, according to the covenant promise he made to Abraham, he used that to bring in the new covenant with the house of Israel and Judah. But at any rate, let's look at something here, brother. Let's keep going. So it tells you they did all of this evil, right? Verse 18.
And when they had called to the king, there came out to them Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household of Shebna, the scribe, and Jonah, the son of Asaph, the recorder.
Oh, wait. No. We still in 2 Kings 17.
Oh. Whoops. My thing didn't change.
We have verse 18.
My bad.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only, Also, Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel, which they made.
Continue.
And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight.
Brethren, when you go to Ezekiel 4, when you read Ezekiel 4, basically is backing up what's chronicled in the Kings here. Now, with this being the case, the Most High is doing something, and it's not predicated upon Israel fulfilling righteousness. He's dealing with Israel because of his promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He made a covenant with Israel. Hey, bro, when we read Deuteronomy 5, Moses literally said in verse 3, the Most High has made a covenant with us that he didn't make with our fathers.
Mm-hmm.
He's making a covenant with us. The covenant made with Moses and Israel was different from the covenant made with Abraham. When Israel got saved out of Egypt, they got saved under Abraham's oath and agreement with the Most High. And that's important. But I'm going to show you all. Let's go over to Ezekiel 4. Let's go there right quick because I brought it up. I name dropped it. So just let me show it a little bit. But hey, salute. I see more folks have joined in. Dave Williams. What's up? Will's the servant of the Most High. What's good, bro? Jay Hanny, the soldier. What's good, soldier? What's up, mom? My mom all up in here. I'm glad she be coming because she need Jesus. Regina, blessings, King. I said blessings, King. Blessings, Queen. I apologize. My man, Blacktastic, he says, shalom, Smokey. Y'all smell that? I smell smoke in the dojo tonight. Yeah, it's already smoky. You already know some people hate that they can't prove that Ezekiel 4, let alone Genesis 15, got anything to do with 400 years or 430 years in America. They hate that. Y'all, what we about to read in Ezekiel 4 is the announcement of why the Most High gonna punish Jerusalem when Nebuchadnezzar burned it. Now, when we read Ezekiel 4, I want y'all to perceive something. All right, bro, let's go over there right quick. Ezekiel 4. Ezekiel chapter 4. And let me see. Let me back up to 3. I want to know. Oh, hold on. I'll go to chapter 1. It got to be there. Okay, check this out. Hey, good brother.
Mm-hmm.
You read right there in Ezekiel, for context, Ezekiel 1, verses 1 and 2.
Now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Chebar, that the heavens were opened, and I saw a vision of God. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity.
Hold on. In the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Chebar. Okay. In the 5th day, now look at this. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity. So, brethren, y'all know what this is saying? If my calculations are right, because I don't got my charts and stuff here tonight. When Ezekiel started to have these visions, this would have only been like maybe the 6th or 7th year of the Israelites in captivity, but Jerusalem is still about 9 years away from being burnt to the ground by Nebuchadnezzar. A lot of people might miss the fact that the Babylonians took the children of Judah into captivity in 3 phases. So when Ezekiel is prophesying here, the Jerusalem is not burnt down. Jeremiah is still preaching in Jerusalem to the leadership over there that they need to stop sinning. So hold on, let me see something here right quick. I need another time marker. Hold on for 1 second, because I want to read something in chapter 4, but I want it might make sense to you guys, but for some reason in my mind it's telling me that I should give a time marker. So maybe I'll need chapter 9. Maybe I think it's chapter 8 or 9 that might give me that marker I'm looking for.
Hey, now when you're talking about the destruction of Jerusalem, was that the 587, 586 around there?
Jerusalem was destroyed in 582 BC. I'm talking about when the temple was burnt. But Ezekiel and them got taken in 597. The first time Nebuchadnezzar came to Jerusalem and attacked it, and they lost real quick, but he didn't destroy it. He let the king stay. That was Zedekiah. No, he took Jehoiakim out and put Zedekiah in. And he told them that they could keep their government, they could keep their capital, and they could keep their royal household. But they became tributary, had to pay taxes, and to make sure that they kept their treaty, he took their children. That's how Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, Ezekiel, and others wind up in Babylon. When they're taken to Babylon, they're taken as collateral so they mamas and they daddies will keep their word with the king of Babylon. But you see here in Ezekiel 8, read that right there, brother.
Verse 1?
Yeah.
And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of the Lord God fell there upon me.
Hold on, brother. Right here, Ezekiel is telling you this vision he having in chapter 8, this happened in the 6th year. So when we read Ezekiel 1 through 7, all of those visions are the visions that happened a year before. In the 5th year.
5th year.
So the 6th year would have probably roughly been like 591. There's still 11 years before Jerusalem is burnt. The reason this is important is because we just read in 2 Kings that the Most High got upset with Ephraim, or the 10 tribes. He called Israel. He said, so he put them out the land. And then he said, and then Judah. He said, but I left Judah, and then Judah turned around and did all of this evil. So the Most High cast away the entire house of Israel. And he kept the pressure up until they were cast away fully. Now, let's go back to chapter 4 for the point that I came here for. All right, brother, you can start at verse 1 when you got it. Can you see that? Because I did make it a step smaller.
Oh, no, I can see it. I'm reading on my phone too. So, thou also, son of man, take thee a tile and lay it before thee, and portray upon it the city. Oh, and portray upon it the city, even Jerusalem.
So, bro, he's going to take a clay tile, right? And he's going to draw on it. He's going to draw Jerusalem on it. Go continue.
And lay siege against it, and build a fort against it, and cast a mount against it. Set the camp also against it, and set battering rams against it round about. Moreover, take thou unto thee an iron pan, and set it for a wall of iron between thee and the city, and set thy face against it, and it shall be besieged, and thou shalt lay siege against it. This shall be a sign to the house of Israel.
Okay, so hold on now. Hey, Sharon and Christ, bless you, bless you. Kenny Knoxville. He said they got me off those menthols, but I'm still smoking. That dude is crazy. Hey, salute. I appreciate y'all for being here. Hey, salute. Reset right quick. You joining the Bible Dojo. Welcome to the Sunday evening Kata Fest. It's your boy Hookah for Heretics and my homie Gary in the building. Salute. Hey, please share this out. Share this out on Clubhouse. Get it in the hallways. Share it out on your Facebook. Put a little link, y'all, in a community post right quick on your YouTube if you don't mind. Help me out. And if you get this, and if you're not here watching this live and you catch this on the replay, you're still the MVP. I appreciate you so much. All right. Hey, and last but not least, I always ask people if this message is edifying to you. If you love the consistent weekly and monthly dedication we got here at the Bible Dojo to y'all, then we ask you to consider supporting our ministry financially. And if you choose to do so, look at the ticker on the screen. Folks over on Clubhouse, touch the PTR. That information is in the bio. And if you want to reach out for building purposes, make sure you take down that email address and holler at your boy. All right. So, hey, Gary, we used to play with our G.I. Joes like this. Remember you be in a bedroom with your little action figure and you done created a damn war zone between your bed, the closet, and the dresser?
Hey, it's never as good as the commercial, though, right?
Never as good as the commercial, but you own it, right? You own it.
Yeah.
Yo, so Ezekiel takes a tile, draws Jerusalem on it, and then he set up all of this little stuff around it and put an iron pan between him and the thing and use all of that to attack Jerusalem. And this is a sign for the house of Israel. Now, brethren, Jerusalem is still about 12 years away from being burnt to the ground. The Jerusalem Ezra and Nehemiah them have to go build back in later on, way later on, 70 years later, when the Persians come and take Babylon's power, and now Cyrus, y'all know the whole scenario. And then when the Medes take over, you got Darius and them. Brothers and sisters, Jerusalem is standing fine. Nebuchadnezzar ain't gonna burn Jerusalem for another decade. But Ezekiel is doing this. And it's a sign for the house of Israel. I'm talking about the people who are there in the captivity with him. They're supposed to learn something from this. Go ahead, bro. Verse 4.
Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it, according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon it, that thou shalt bear their iniquity. For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity according to the number of the days, 390 days. So shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah for 40 days. I have appointed thee each day for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore thou shalt set thy face toward the siege of Jerusalem, and thine arm shall be uncovered, and thou shalt prophesy against it. And behold, I will lay bands upon thee, and thou shalt not turn thee from one side to another, till thou hast ended the days of thy siege.
Now, who in the heaven gonna tell you the 390 days that represent the house of Israel, which represent 390 years, and then the 40 days, which represent the house of Judah, and the 40 years for the house of Judah got something to do with damn America? Brothers and sisters, he told him to make this thing against Jerusalem. Now lay on your left side for a year, a little over a year. Lay on your left side, basically lay on your left side for 13 months. And be tied up and just have your shoulder uncovered while you got this portrait of the city in front of you, and I had you build all of this stuff around it and attack it. Got him playing young Fortnite over here. Then when them 13 months is up, you're going to take another month and a half and you're going to turn over on your right side. And you're going to lay on your right side for 40 days, and that's going to represent the 40 years of Jerusalem. He said every day represents a year that I have dealt with the iniquity. I've carried these people. That's why Jerusalem is being destroyed. He's going to destroy Jerusalem because of the evil of the children of the 10 tribes. And then when they left, as we read in 2 Kings, Judah wind up falling to apostasy, and now he got to put them out. That's it. And y'all know what that means? That means what it says in the book of Lamentations 4. Let's go there since I brought it up. Lamentations chapter 4. Because when Ezekiel says this, Jeremiah is still in the land. And 10 years later, Jeremiah going to be there when Babylon come and destroy the city the way that Ezekiel portrayed it when he laid on one side for over a year and then on the other side for almost 2 months. And look at how he talked. If y'all go to Lamentations, read the whole book. I'm telling y'all, the way that this man talks about what the Most High did. Verse 11, bro.
And the Lord hath accomplished his fury. He had poured out his fierce anger and had kindled a fire in Zion, and it had devoured the foundations thereof. The kings of the earth and all the inhabitants of the world would not have believed that the adversary and the enemy should have entered into the gates of Jerusalem. For the sins of her prophets and the iniquities of her priests that have shed the blood of the just in the midst of her.
Okay, so we see that the Most High is crushing Jerusalem. He said, yo, the nations of the world, and I believe this is his feeling, they would have never believed that this could happen to us. Really? Okay. Let's look at something, brother. Let's skip down. Oh, hold on. I done went too far. It was up at the beginning. All right. Dang, this thing is moving slow. Come on. Sorry, brother. And this thing is moving so slow today. I'm just trying to find this particular verse. Oh, goodness. You know what? It's probably over in chapter 3. I said it was 4. Forgive me, y'all, because it wasn't in my notes. So I definitely said it wrong. And it's chapter 2. That's why. 2 chapters over. Let back up to chapter 2, good brother.
Yep, I'm there.
Okay, so go ahead and look at this. Verse 6. Start at verse 6. This is what Ezekiel was showing in Ezekiel chapter 4. And this is what the chroniclers were talking about in 2 Kings 17. Go ahead.
And he had violently taken away his tabernacle, as if it were of a garden. He had destroyed his places of the assembly. The Lord had caused the solemn feasts and Sabbaths to be forgotten in Zion, and had despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priests. The Lord had cast off his altar He had abhorred his sanctuary. He had given up into the hand of the enemy the walls of her palaces. They have made a noise in the house of the Lord, as in the day of a solemn feast.
Mm.
The Lord had purposed to destroy the wall of the daughter of Zion. He had stretched out a line. He had not withdrawn his hand from destroying. Therefore, he made the rampart and the wall to lament. They languished together.
He's talking about the defenses. The wall of Jerusalem was built to protect the city. The ramparts are all the defense towers. He said all that stuff failed, man. The Most High destroyed the wall of the daughter of Zion. He done stretched out a line and haven't held back his hand yet from the destruction. Now, when y'all go through this book and read about, y'all, they got so starved out by the Babylonians, they started practicing cannibalism.
Mm.
Women, it said that they started eating the dead. And then it said people even killed their children and ate them in Jerusalem. That's what Nebuchadnezzar did. So when people see what Ezekiel was portraying in Ezekiel 4, that 430 years, which is 390 years for the northern kingdom and 40 years for the southern kingdom, that ain't got nothing to do with you Negroes getting off no damn slave ship. Matter of fact, ain't nobody in here got off no slave ship. But our mothers and our fathers, more than likely, unless all of a sudden, and on side note, yo, hey, everybody, stop claiming Geechee Gully because you don't want to be the descendant of no slave no more. All of a sudden, all these Negroes from South Carolina, everybody Geechee Gully all of a sudden. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now that it's more understanding coming out about some of these claims of being Israelites and this, and everything ain't holding up the way it used to when y'all could just give bad exegesis of prophecies. Now all of a sudden, all these Negroes is Geechee Gully folk now. I don't buy it. You know what I mean? But at any rate, so this is what he's done. And look at what the bro said. I'm sorry, what the prophet said. Go ahead, bro. Verse 9.
Her gates are sunk into the ground. He had destroyed and broken her bars. Her king and her princes are among the Gentiles. The law is no more. Her prophets also find no vision from the Lord.
No prophets? Because Jeremiah was the last prophet in his generation in Jerusalem. Now, in the captivity, he provided them Daniel. But in Ezekiel prophesied before this happened. Y'all do know when you read the book of Ezekiel, almost all of this entire book. And if you look at when he named the years of his visions, like we read in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th year of Jehoiakim's captivity, I had this vision. Ezekiel had most of his visions before Jerusalem got destroyed. But you got to really be in tune. You got to sit with other believers who are that meticulous with the details, so that we don't just make every single thing and every prophecy we see in the text is about us. Everything we read ain't happened yet. Now, there's some people out here teaching, like these guys over at Sakari and other places, a damnable doctrine where they're making Ezekiel chapter 4, what we read, they're making that the American captivity, y'all. For everybody who heard me tonight, if this your first time hearing a breakdown on Ezekiel 4, you know in your heart, that damn 430 years ain't got nothing to do with America. You know it. This is what the Most High did because the children of Israel broke their part of the oath that Moses told them they made in Deuteronomy 26. But why are we still around if we're Israel? Because the Most High is being merciful according to his promise or his covenant with Abraham. Mm-hmm. You notice the apostles keep telling us that we are the children of Abraham. We're the children of the promise. They use the whole, cats love to go to the whole, Hagar, you ain't come on the Sinai and, Mount Horeb, but to the heavenly mountain, and Hagar, gender to bondage, and Sarah is the mother of the freeborn. All of this, they're using to paint the allegorical understanding of how those who are really the children of Abraham, when it's all said and done, are those who will inherit by promise. The children of the flesh, I have access to the promise, but if you aren't what God wants to come forth, you truly will not get Abraham's reward. You already ain't getting the damn reward of the old covenant. That's all. That been done. I'm talking about the old covenant made in Horeb. That been over. That been over. The Most High done told you 100 ways. That was over. Now, hey, Ak, let's go to Jeremiah chapter 22. Because a lot of cats like to take stock in the fact they Israelites and yeah, we're going to be a peculiar people. Nations will see this Torah and say, we're a wise and understanding people. Well, let's see if that happened. The closest you're going to get is when the Queen of Sheba said, Solomon was wiser than she had even been told. The rumors about him didn't do his wisdom justice. That's about the closest you're going to get. But besides that, let's read this. Jeremiah 22. Jeremiah 22. And I'm hoping and praying that this edifies you. And if any of you have a doctrine that might be off in your Israelite claims and this Anhananan doctrine, that's what I call it, that some of these dudes out here preaching, I hope this encourages you to reconsider it, correct it. You can adjust it, because the Most High, from the beginning, Gary, what did we read in Deuteronomy 29? Moses said, the Most High not just making this covenant with you, Israel, but with those who stand here with us today.
Yep, and so those who's not even there.
And then those who not even here with us. But clearly, the other people who were there besides the Israelites were people who left Egypt with them. Right. And we're going to see why some of them probably left. Let's go to Jeremiah 22, though, and look at this, bro. Verse 7.
22 and 7. And I will prepare destroyers against thee, everyone with his weapons, and they shall cut down thy choice cedars and cast them into the fire. And many nations shall pass by this city, and they shall say every man to his neighbor, wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this great city? Then they shall answer, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord their God, and worshipped other gods, and served them. Weep ye not for the dead, neither bemoan him, but weep sore for him that goeth away. For he shall return no more, nor see his native country.
Now look at this. The Most High has prepared destroyers against you. He's talking to Jerusalem. Now, what we read in Lamentations, that's way after this. Jeremiah is warning them before it happened. Man, the Most High done prepared destroyers for this place. Many nations are going to pass by and say, yo, why did Yahweh do this to this place? And the neighbor will say, oh, because they broke the covenant and worshiped other gods. So the nations ain't saying, oh, Israel is a wise and understanding people. No, they're saying, wow, this people are covenant
breakers.
But let's just show you, even from the head, what happened early in the kingship of Israel. 2 Samuel 12. Salute to Big Bro Dave, but let's see what is written. I didn't write this, and it won't be ignored. 2 Samuel 12, and let's look at what Nathan, I believe that, what Nathan said here. 2 Samuel 12. Verse 13.
And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also hath put away thy sin. thou shalt not die.
Okay, so there was a mercy on David. The Most High had mercy, but he still didn't clear David of his guilt. People think because David I can't say what people think. Many people think that because David was forgiven, that he was cleared of guilt. No, y'all, David suffered for the rest of his life because of this one action. Go ahead, bro.
Howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die.
Hold on. So you won't die, but however, homie, because this thing you did gives occasion to the enemies of the Most High to blaspheme. See, many people got to understand, when those who claim to be the people of the Most High carry themselves in a certain spirit, in a certain evil, we cause people to crap on the reputation and the glory that belongs to the deity we claim to serve. So for many of you brothers and sisters listening tonight, look at the attitude and the presentation of those who call themselves Israel and tell me you're greatly impressed. Some of y'all claim to be Israelites and you're not happy with the overall reputation of our people because of a small group among us who are the more popular because they're the more controversial. And they have the most racist damn doctrines you ever heard. Women are belittled in many ways by a lot of them. Not all of them, but in many ways they are. And they don't have any love for anybody of another ethnicity, of another ethnic group claim. I didn't see some people think, you know, they talking about Esau's the white man. We know that's not true. So now they hate white people because they think they Esau. They don't give a damn what Deuteronomy 23 say to them about you shall not abhor Edom, nor shall you hate an Egyptian. But they can come into the congregation of the Lord in their third generation. Love the Egyptian because you was a stranger in his land. So now you know what his predicament would be in yours. Egyptians weren't to be treated in Israel the way Israelites were treated in Egypt. Go to Deuteronomy 23 and read that on your own time and get some young edification. You got these people, they hate people of other ethnicities. Just because you might be a person of color, that's the phrase, that don't mean they got love for you. If they think you a damn Hamite, if they think you come from Ham, you ain't nothing either. Nothing. That's damnable. And that causes Christian orthodoxy to be able to speak against the so-called glory many of us are claiming is supposed to be like, it's almost like your damn birthright. You want to be honored just because you claim to be somebody's son. Y'all know what the Israelites in many ways are starting to look like in the world of theology? Bagger Vance. Niggas running around here claiming they Sidney Poitier's son or somebody's son. I forget. Who was he claiming? Whose son was he in that joint? No, I got another one. What's that movie back in the day with Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker?
Oh,
Money Talks.
Money Talks.
That man came to he came to his father-in-law house talking about he was Vic Damone's son. These Negroes running around here talking about they Vic Damone's son. Y'all ain't no Vic Damone's son. But they claiming to be the children of Yah and are walking around with a spirit where the Most High saying, look, I'm entering into a covenant with people who are here with Israel, not just Israel. These cats are saying salvation is only for Israel. They even believe under the old covenant it was. I was in a group on Facebook earlier. Shout out to my bro, Cool Man. It was a sister came in that group. She was very unlearned, and she came from that background. And I showed her 3 texts that at least showed, I said, sis, even under the old covenant, the Most High had love, and his word was for other people besides the flesh and blood children of Israel. I could have showed her 18 more texts. She didn't give a damn what I was saying, because she's dedicated to the doctrine. But I really hope that sister becomes more dedicated to the truth of the word, because I don't know her to have any dislike for her. I really was hoping that I could be used to say something to her that in the moment will cause her to say, dang, bro, you know what? I might need to consider that. You know what? I still hold my stance, but I think you may have put something on the table I never considered. No, it was total struggle. But that's what happens out here. So when it's my time to give smoke, I don't need to be talked to. I don't need no back and forth. It's a time for that, but not today. You're going to hear this. If you don't want to hear it, go on somewhere. You, by your evil, have given occasion to the enemies of God to blaspheme. So if King David, the great David, could do something like that, what do y'all think we ought to be very careful of? Because where in other people land, if you're claiming to be an Israelite, as strangers, and can be some of the most boastful and arrogant people out there, thinking somehow somebody owe you something. And then I seen, I ain't even gonna bring that up. Hey, bro, let's move on. Okay, I seen something about a week and a half ago on one of these dudes' IG or TikTok. Man, it just made me shake my head. Just make me want to go and get at some of these guys even more, but it won't really matter. So sometimes, once you know you've said something a few times to cats, if they continue to do it, you just have to let it run its course. You're not the world's police. Now, Romans 3:1. So after all of this you showed, Zadok, after all of this you showed, the Most High sent Hamashiach for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, no, I know that. I wouldn't argue with you about that. But let's read something here. Romans 3. And when you're there, bro, start at verse 1.
What advantage then had the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision?
Mm-hmm.
Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect? God forbid. Yea, let God be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged.
Oh, wait, hold on. So when Israel fell to unbelief, as we read in 2 Kings, it says, all of Israel and Judah did evil, just like their fathers who did not believe in the Lord their God. So their unbelief what does it mean, make the faith of God without effect? Meaning the things that God promised through his word, not just for Israelites, but for others. It's in Isaiah 56, he promised something to others. It's even in Deuteronomy 29, he promised others besides Israelites. Well, if you hearing this, I'm holding you to this too. Excuse me. The oracles of God that were given to them that we about to read next in the book of Genesis. What God promised there. Israel's unbelief and them getting in trouble and then the old covenant being broken. None of that is going to stop the faith of God, meaning God is going to keep his promise. So since their unbelief won't stop God's plan, what is the advantage then to being a Jew? Simply this, brethren, because you are the people that God chose to bring his words to and then through to the rest of the nations. That's really your big claim to fame. It's like Israel is Charlie Murphy to Yah, who is, let's say, Eddie Murphy. Your claim to fame is that Eddie is your brother. You weren't the ones we was watching in Delirious, Raw, Trading Places. You had a nice little part in Harlem Nights, though. Beverly Hills Cop, The Golden Child, Dr. Doolittle, Norbit, the other one when he played the Nutty Professor, the Coming to Americas, the Boomerangs. That's Eddie. He the one. But we like Charlie. What advantage then is there to Charlie? Man, that's Eddie brother. Eddie love his brother. So he able to be known by his brother. Israel is only known because of the word of the Most High. Israel was no neo-colonial power that went and conquered all the nations, ran in Mesopotamia, took that over, went into Europe, took that over, ran into North Africa, took that over. Nah, none of that. Israel's claim to fame is that they the people who were given the words of the Most High. And that's why it's so sad that Israelites who don't understand and know Hamashiach will find themselves on the outside. Or as Yeshua himself said, many in the kingdom of God, many from the east and the west are going to come and sit down at the table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, while many children of the kingdom are cast out into darkness. We don't want that. So it's imperative we understand what it means to be who you claiming. Because right now, it's a lot of Hebrews who looking like Chris Tucker and Money Talks when he was saying he the son of Vic Damone, man. People going to find out you're faking because you're not really holding up to what Yah desired in choosing Abraham and then what he looked for Israel to continue. Why would the Most High tell Moses, hey, man, let these folks know if they keep this and do it, this is going to be their wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. And then these nations are going to respond to what they hear about the Israelites and be like, man, what people is as wise and as understanding as this people? That was going to be your claim to fame. The nations would have desired the same thing that they seen Israel get. So it is what it is. Now, hey, let's go over here. So, hey, salute to the God Triller in the building. I see you, bro. Salute, Benaiah. So let's move on because now I want to show you all what is written in those oracles. How did Israel perceive this? Genesis 12. Hey, you good over there, Gary? I know we've been going for a minute. Yeah, all right? Because I know you had just came in the house too, bro. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm straight.
Okay, that's what's up. Just making sure. I was just making sure, bro. All right, so Genesis 12. And brother, let's start reading that verse 1.
Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed.
Hold on. In you shall all the families of the earth be blessed. Paul and them quote this all the time as the message, the beginning message of the gospel. But people miss it. Paul and them don't start at Moses saying what God said to Moses is the promise to all nations. No, what the Most High said to Abraham is the gospel to all nations. Brethren, all families of the earth will be blessed in Abraham. But now look at this. I will bless them that bless thee. Hold on. For those who bless Abraham, God will bless them. Hey, brother, those strangers that left Egypt with the children of Israel, bro, they blessed the Most High. They believed. That's why they left. They weren't perfect just like Israel weren't, but they believed. They left with Israel. Didn't say Israel fought a war and enslaved them all and took them. No, they left by choice with Israel. Bro, what blessing do they get for that? See, I don't care what somebody standing in a pulpit say. This book say the Most High will bless whoever blesses Abraham. and will curse whoever curses Abraham. But if you listen to some of these people, don't they make it seem like every damn nation on the earth, all they did was curse Abraham and his descendants? That's all they did. But they can't prove that. Abraham is going to be a blessing, and all the families of the earth will be blessed. So y'all understand, Abraham hasn't even left his father's house. And as the Most High get ready to start this journey that's going to set up for Hamashiach in Israel later, he lets it be known, hey, I'm going to make you a great nation, and your name and reputation will be great. And guess what, man? I'm going to bless whoever bless you, and whoever curse you, I'm going to curse. And all the families of the earth will be blessed because of you. Now, what's the blessing of all the families of the earth? Let's keep going. Go over to chapter 13, bro. And when we get there, let's start at verse 14. Akmalak Torah, salute. Zachary in the building. Marcus Jones, brother Enoch, King, Yeshua always. I see y'all joined in, man. Appreciate you all for being here. And I see a few more people that look like they came over there on that Young House app. Salute to Ardell, Jonathan, Darverin, Tasha Mack. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Jigsaw, bless y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for being here. Keep going now. So chapter 13, verse 14, when you got it.
And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now thine eyes and look from the place where thou art northward and southward and eastward and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever.
Not the entire planet, people, but the damn land where he took them. Hey, look, north, south, east, and west. You see all this land? I'm giving it to you and your seed forever. Now, some people got it in they don't understand what like y'all know how in Romans 4 it says that Abraham, he became the heir of the world. This is how, because all nations will be blessed in him. But what Abraham and his children will control primarily is this land forever. They're not going to impede, and ain't no Israelites going to take over China. Get it out your heads. No, not in the son's kingdom. And stop teaching that Jesus' kingdom is 1,000 years. That's not, the Bible don't teach that. The Bible tells you in the book of Revelation that there's going to be a group that's going to be resurrected, and they will get to rule with Christ for 1,000 years. It didn't say that was the beginning of Christ's kingdom. Stop it. Stop it. The millennial reign. That's about the ones he resurrect. That's not when he start ruling. But at any rate. So, bro, he said, I'm going to give you all this land, huh? Verse 16.
And I will make thee, and I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered.
Mm-hmm.
Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, and in the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee.
He didn't tell him to walk the whole planet. Once again, you Israelites who think you're going to rule, you better understand what you're going to rule. And when you are made head of nations, what that means, many of you don't. But you could come to the dojo, and I know a few other places you can go to come get this young edification work. We giving out all kind of job applications. We doing interviews, man. We got work for folk. Y'all heard? So fill out your application and email it, and then we will respond and set up an interview so you can hopefully get some employment. Real spill. All right, bro. Let's go over to chapter 15. And when you're ready, bro, we're going to go. We're not going to read all of this. This is them. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Verse 18.
Verse 18. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
Oh, wait, hold on. The Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, to your seed will I give this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. That's it. When you read Ezekiel and you get into chapter 44 to the end of the book, all of that is covering this territory. That's where Zion will sit. That's where the nations will come. Yes, the law shall go forth from there. And the redeemed elect of Israel, by their obedience to the Father, by submitting to Christ under the new covenant, will just have them in place that when you come to that land, you have no choice but to deal with them, because this whole nation will be looked at as the priests of the Most High to the rest of the nations. So when you in the book of Zechariah 14 and it says, after the Lord done settled this war for Jerusalem, it says all of those who are left of the nations which came against Jerusalem will now have to come up every year to come see the Most High. When they come to Jerusalem, y'all, who are they going to deal with? They not about to just going to sit on the deity lap. They're going to deal with his people, his redeemed people who are back in that land, according to what's written in the prophets. And that's what makes you the head. Now, Gary.
Yep.
Hey, Gary. When you look in the book of Daniel chapter 2 and you see that image in Nebuchadnezzar's dream, you know, the one with the golden head and all of that?
Yep.
It was one, right?
Yeah.
It was one body. But all four kingdoms were part of one body. And Nebuchadnezzar was told, you the head of gold. And it's going to be three kingdoms after you, but they're going to be inferior to you.
Right.
Because all they doing is just building on what Nebuchadnezzar what? Thought of. So Persia, great. Greece, great. Rome, great. As a matter of fact, they expanded military and landmass on a level the Chaldeans probably never could have dreamed of. So what makes them inferior to the Chaldeans? It just means they just plagiarizing the idea. Nebuchadnezzar and the Chaldeans are the first one to have controlled the Fertile Crescent. That's why they're called the first beast. But in that image, in that vision of the image, Babylon is the head of gold. So that means everything you see the rest of the body do after the head, it's doing what the head has given out. The body of Christ. It says Christ is our head, right, brother?
Yep.
And then all the people in the church are particular members of that body, right?
Right.
That means the body is only doing what? What the head directs. So being the head of nations doesn't make you separate from them. It makes you their leader, meaning the way that the head goes, the rest of the body is supposed to follow. So notice when it says Israel will be the head and not the tail. Damn it, head and tail represent body parts on a beast. Because he's trying to let you know all the nations are connected. Israel, you'll be the head, not the tail. But when Israel became disobedient, it said they would become what, brother?
The tail.
The tail. And not the head. It's just their place in the nations. See, we read this book over here. That's why this place is called the Bible Dojo. So being the head of nations, it doesn't disconnect you and make you better. It connects all the nations to you. How didn't Israel see this? And then how is it that people who are calling themselves the people of Yah, how they don't see that that's what it is to be the head? You're supposed to be attracting everyone else to Yah so that all mankind could be one and the purpose of Yah. The way that Nimrod led all the children of Noah in opposition to Yah, the nation of Israel is supposed to lead all the sons of Noah into relationship with Yah.
Amen.
And that's why Abraham is being given this land, and him being given this land for him still is going to lead to all nations in the earth being blessed because of him. Genesis 17. And we almost done, people. I know this has been a nice little long one. How long we been on now? Oh, just pushing 2 hours. Okay. It's not like world breaking or nothing. Genesis 17. I'm not even there. I'm in 16. When you there, bro, you can actually start at verse 1.
And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty God. Walk before me, and be thou perfect, and I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and God talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham.
Now, I'm telling you all, you can reject this if you want, but the apostles prove it in the prophets. From the beginning, Abraham was a father of many nations. Abraham was a father to other nations before Isaac was even born, because this is how the covenant of his is going to play out. Continue.
Neither shall let me read 5 again. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed after thee in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be a God unto thee and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant, which ye shall keep between me and you, and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
So every man child that's among Abraham, when they get this sign in their foreskin, it's a sign of the covenant between God and Abraham, right?
Right.
Right. Continue.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant.
Yeah, continue.
And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people, he that broken my covenant.
Hold on. So the children according to Abraham's flesh are to be circumcised on their 8th day when they're born. And whoever is a part of your family or brought with money of any stranger which is not of your family. If he born in your house, or if you buy him and he become a part of your family, he must be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh. Brethren, he's make these people Abraham's flesh when they take on the sign of Abraham in their flesh. When the Israelites in Exodus 12 come out and they get the sign of the Pesach, I could have went into all of that, but I'm not. They had to be circumcised to eat the Pesach, and they were supposed to circumcise their sons on the 8th day. And any stranger among them that is brought with their money and born in their house has to be circumcised. A regular free stranger among them could not eat the Passover if he wasn't circumcised. It says, but if the stranger come to you and say, I want to eat the Passover, if he's willing to circumcise himself and all the males of his house, then he can come near and keep it, and you shall treat him as one who is born in your house. From the beginning, Abraham only had this. The Most High told him he was going to have a child with Sarah. Abraham he laughed, but the Most High told him, no, you're going to have this kid. He believed the Lord left him. Skip down to verse 23 and check this out.
And Abraham took Ishmael, his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the self same day, as God had said unto him.
Hold on, bro. Wow. Verse 27, please.
And all the men of his house, born in the house.
Wait, I'm sorry. You don't even have to skip. Continue at 24.
And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the self same day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son. And all the men of his house, born in the house and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him.
Now, bro, in Genesis 15, I'll read it right quick. Oh, no, you can read it right quick. In chapter 15, verse 2, read that. I'm sorry. No, yeah, that's the right one. That's
15,
right.
15:2.
Mm-hmm.
And Abram said, Lord God, what wilt thou give me, seeing I go childless, and the steward of my house is this Eliezer of Damascus? And Abraham said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is mine heir.
Okay, and so now Abraham is telling you all how this go. Most High, whatever you given me, you said, that I was going to inherit all this. Now, I don't have a child yet, and I got my right-hand man. Y'all know this man, Eliezer of Damascus, he's to Abraham what Joseph was to Potiphar. His right hand, his steward. Yo, you in charge of all my stuff. Abraham trusts this man with his life, basically. All his belongings, all his wealth. This man know everything. And Abraham like, yo, the man who I got in charge of all my stuff, he in my house. And he got a son. And look, somebody born in my house will inherit what you giving me. And the Most High said, no, it's not going to be him. No, not this man and his son. Your own son out of your own loins. It don't mean they're not heirs. It just means they're not the heir who's in charge, who will delineate over the rest of the heirs. That's all that means, because they're clearly heirs, because that man and his son, damn it, they were circumcised before Isaac was born. How about that? we just read, the day that the covenant of God was given to Abraham, and now he got to take this sign in his flesh. Him and his son Ishmael. Abraham is 99. Ishmael is what, 12?
13.
What was he, bro?
13.
Oh, okay, thanks. 13. Them two get circumcised, and they're not circumcised on the 8th day. Isaac is the first one in Abraham's bloodline that's circumcised on the 8th day. And guess what? From that point forward, all the servants who belong to Abraham, anyone Abraham eventually brings into his family, has to be circumcised. And as Isaac got circumcised on the 8th day, do you know that Isaac inherits all of the generation of servants from Abraham's servants? And then Isaac passes all of them servants on to his son Jacob. Do y'all know how many damn servants from other nations were circumcised on the 8th day? They're the males. So as Jacob was born and him and Esau get circumcised on the 8th day, guess what? Any of Isaac's servants from other people get circumcised on the 8th day too. So from the beginning, brother, the sign of the covenant of God and who would be under that covenant was not solely an Israelite or even Abraham's seed according to the flesh thing. It was Abraham and what? His house. So it said Abraham and all his house. You know, house there ain't got nothing to do with a building, right? You know, house there means family. When it says judgment starts at the house of God, damn it, that's not a building. That's us, the people. Abraham's house, his family, always from day one, he was even outnumbered by those who were not his kin. But they lived after order and they served him faithfully. That same servant he named, I believe more than likely that's the one who put his hand under Abraham's thigh and swore he would go and get Isaac a wife. And when that man went to Syria to get that woman, you know what he did? He prayed to Yahweh with his circumcised self. Yes, that damn stranger. Don't let these so-called Israelites take you away from the truth. Don't let these so-called Orthodox Christians take you away from the truth. This is the truth of Yahweh's oath and how he brought it forth. And he had an oath and covenant with Abraham before the children of Israel had an oath. And just so you know that there were more than one covenant, we're going to bring it up one more again. Deuteronomy chapter 5. Brother, read verse 2 and 3 right there, please.
The Lord our God made a covenant with us in Horeb. The Lord made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us who are all of us here alive this day.
Brothers and sisters, Moses is telling you this covenant we got here in Horeb. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob didn't get this. But in order for you to come out of Egypt and even come to this covenant, you were saved under the agreement, the covenant God made with Abraham.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
He different. We are not the same. Now, I know this is pushing the 2-hour limit, but for those who can stand it, hang out just a little bit longer. If you got to go, I understand it is a work night going into school tomorrow. Wait, hold on. For many of y'all kids might be out for like the little spring break for Easter and all that anyway. So you might still have to get up. Some of y'all about to be hot because y'all kids home for like a week or two. Now you got to cook breakfast every day. You used to them being gone to school. You trying to figure it out. I know. The only people whose schedules won't be too different is the homeschoolers. The homeschoolers like, oh, it's just Monday to us. But at any rate, yeah, that's how it is for you with the little boy, ain't it, Gary?
Yes, sir. Yep, be on spring break, but then it's gonna be a regular day for me.
Hey, hey, let's go to Exodus chapter 8. Exodus 8. And I want to show you all something on when the children of Israel came out of Egypt. And we got to be honest and pay attention to this. So here in Exodus 8, when the Most High is starting to bring the plagues on Egypt, when he's about to start this fourth plague, he says something here. Exodus 8 and 22. This is the fourth plague about to start. Go ahead.
And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be.
Okay, so now at the fourth plague, the Most High start to put a separateness between Goshen, where his people are, and the rest of the land of Egypt. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you this. Israelites did not live alone in Goshen. There were other people who were oppressed as well. And I believe that's what makes up the majority of the mixed multitude that leaves with the Israelites. They weren't Israelites, slaves. They were under the hard rigor of Egypt, just like the Israelites. And many of them came into that land and lived too. The historical record proves it out. The Israelites were not the only Shemitic group that lived in Goshen, which today is called Tel Adaba, which is where ancient Avaris was. Avaris is in the land of Goshen, people, but you would have to be into archaeology and even understand what I'm talking about to know. We just got too much historical proof that other groups out of Canaan came because of how close Goshen is to the border of the Sinai Peninsula. It's the westernmost part of the Egyptian land. And so this is something that I'm hoping you all can get. But the Most High started to put a difference where he's going to now show it's a difference between my people. But I'm telling you, whoever was in Goshen and they were next to the Israelites, they didn't know what was coming, but they would get benefit just because they lived in Goshen too. Now, let's look at something. Chapter 9, go right over to the next chapter. And when we're there, start at 18, good brother.
Behold, tomorrow, about this time, I will cause it to rain a very grievous hail, such as had not been in Egypt since the foundation thereof, even until now. Send therefore now, and gather thy cattle, and all that thou hast in the field, for upon every man and beast which shall be found in the field, and shall not be brought home, the hail shall come down upon them, and they shall die. He that feareth the word of the Lord among the servants of Pharaoh made his servants and his cattle flee into the houses. And he that regarded not the word of the Lord left his servants and his cattle in the field. And the Lord said unto them,
wait, hold on. So whoever, now y'all, you start to see, by the time you get to this plague, and I believe this would be the 6th plague, cats was that, hold on. Wait, what's coming, Moses? Y'all God gonna do what? They started to believe in the power of Moses' God. So cats who served Pharaoh and whoever with them, they became obedient because they feared and believed. Man, everybody, but other cats was like, whatever, and they perished, them and their animals, in that great hailstorm. But these people didn't get saved simply because the other Israelites. They got saved because they themselves feared that word and believed it. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, let's go over to chapter 12. And let's go down to so the Egyptians were urging upon the children of Israel to leave. Verse 37, brother.
Verse 30 what?
37.
And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
So when you get to Deuteronomy 29 and Moses says, hey, men of Israel, I'm making this covenant with you today. And not you only, but also with them who are here with us. And to those who aren't here with us, meaning there are others who are going to come and join with Israel, brethren. They are a part of the covenant because from the beginning, there's going to be a blessing. Whoever called Abraham and his children a blessing will be blessed. And their blessing don't just have to come from you. But if there are those who would assist and be kind to Abraham and his people, they would wind up being blessed. That right there is the beginning of the gospel. And from day one, it was never just about one flesh and blood people, but he chose a particular people group to lead that charge. And that's what Israel was chosen for. And Israel got selfish and they didn't serve Yah. They only served themselves and didn't serve others. And check this out. Go to Malachi 2 and we'll end here for the day. Malachi chapter 2. Because when you find out why the children of Israel got put out and why the Most High said this covenant is over, some people make it just about them serving, bowing to the idols. Well, that's definitely a part of it, because in Malachi, he tell you, man, Israel and Judah married a strange God. But check this out. Oh, my goodness. Back up. Must be over in chapter 3. Yep, there we go. So look at this. Verse 5.
And I will come near to you to judgment, and I will be a swift witness against the sorcerers, and against the adulterers, and against false swearers, and against those that oppose the hireling in his wages, the widow and the fatherless, or the widow and the fatherless, and that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me, saith the Lord of hosts.
So when you look at all of these other things, and as important as they are, how many people paid attention to that? One of the things the Most High had a problem with the Hebrews about was that as they didn't do all of this good, another good they didn't do was treating a stranger correctly. They turned away the stranger from his rights. Some Negroes will tell you the only right a stranger got is to be under an Israelite boot. Well, them niggas don't know the book. Continue, bro. Read verse 6 and 7, please.
For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
And when he says that, he mean, hey, I told y'all from the beginning that I was merciful and long-suffering and forgiving iniquity. But I'm not clearing the guilty, so I'm going to punish you. But I told you who I was from the beginning. And because I have not changed, you're not totally destroyed. That's the only reason.
Amen.
Verse 7.
Even from the days of your fathers ye are gone away from mine ordinances, and have not kept them. Return unto me, and I will return unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. But ye said, wherein shall we return? Wherein
return to me, and I'll return to you. And out of the many things you're going to have to do to prove you return to me, I'm telling all of y'all who claim to be Israelites in this captivity, y'all better be very careful with how y'all treat the people who y'all think are not Israelites. Y'all don't, a lot of brethren, unfortunately, do not have a damn clue on the purpose of the Israelite people, because the purpose of the Israelite people isn't for themselves. Abraham wasn't chosen simply for himself, but in him, all nations of the earth would be blessed. You an Israelite? Then you supposed to be carrying on the promise of Abraham that through you, all nations of the earth would be blessed.
Come on.
Christ is the ultimate. So what are you? What am I? It's a difference between the Most High oath and what he meant by establishing these oaths versus what y'all hear some so-called Israel telling y'all these things mean today. So I'm going to end right there. I just hope and pray that that wasn't just edifying, but that it really caused some of us to stop and think a minute, man, and really get into the spirit of Hamashiach and learn this book and ask for the Ruach to guide us, because the purpose of the Most High in many ways is simply not lining up with what some who claim to be his representatives out here are portraying as his purpose. So Gary, I appreciate you, bro. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Oh man, I appreciate the lesson, man. That was some good stuff. I think the thing that mostly hit me, man, was just, the Lord is blasphemed amongst the nations because of, how we act out here in these streets sometimes, and just our attitude. So that was a dagger fight for me.
That's what's up, bro. Yeah, man. Hey, the message is for who it's for. I ain't got one of them channels where it's 300-400 people watching me live. Sometimes it be 40, 50. I think the most I ever had at one time on my platform was like 120, 130 people. I thought I was killing the world. But I usually average a good 30, 40 a week. I'm talking about live consistently. Mm-hmm. And that's good. So, praise the Most High. The message is for who it's for. Hey, let folk know about the Bible Dojo. If this is your first time joining us, I pray you will come back again and join us. We usually do this kind of presentation every Sunday evening. And on Friday nights, we have what's called Friday Night Frankincense, which is also a house on Clubhouse. Go find Friday Night Frankincense and ask to become a member of that house, because myself and my homie, brother Josh from Absolute Bible Truth, we co-host that every Friday night. And it's called Frankincense on Friday for a reason, because frankincense get real smoky. So we invite you to come holler at us, come talk to us, brethren. We really over there to build. It's not always smoke in a bad way. It's all smoke, but not in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? So, when that comes forward, it's open. We usually take questions, or we got a topic on the table, and we have it open for anyone who want to come up and talk and build with us. So if you're on Clubhouse, go ahead and find that Friday Night Frankincense house and join it. And that's what it is. And also go find my room called the Bible Dojo and become a member there. It's really easy. I appreciate you all. Salute to you all. Hey, and for those of y'all who dealing with the Pesach this coming week, y'all bless y'all, man. Most High willing, I'll see my brothers in about another 4-5 days, because we got some hanging out and some chilling to do. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. So Gary, you already know what it is, bro. Love you, homie. And Most High willing, we'll be connecting much sooner than later.
See you on Thursday, man. I'm probably gonna miss the Wednesday get down because I'm gonna be on the way to the airport at that time.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think you the first one to come into town. See, y'all, this is my bro right here. Got my bro Pop. He coming all the way east from Cali just so we can hang out for 3 days for the Pesach. So, yeah, we got it popping over here. I got about a dozen or so homies popping into town so we could get it in. So I really appreciate that. The Most High is really good to us. So, hey, enjoy y'all gatherings, man. And remember, keep the poor, the fatherless, the widow, and those who are sick and shut in prayer. And if you can, actually get out there and serve them to the best of your ability. All right. So until next time, salute.